Hello and welcome to the Anglo Welsh Cup Round 2 predictions brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy behind DrivingMaul, and yes, that most unloved of competitions, it hits the second round, and this time we have all the teams playing. Yes, the Welsh teams do join in, as there is no Pro 14 going on this weekend. They'll catch up their games from last weekend next weekend, but for now, it's all the clashes will be Welsh or all English or English Welsh, since there's not enough Welsh teams to go round. So what do we get? First up, Ospreys are hosting Wasps, and you've got to say that Ospreys have been having a bit of a poor season this season, and Wasps, whilst they did come up short last weekend, have been looking a bit better over the last couple of weeks. So I think Wasps are going to take this one, but only by a narrow margin of about 3 points. I think it could go either way. It depends on who turns up on the day. And obviously how these teams take this competition. So Wasps last weekend lost to Newcastle Falcons in a high scoring affair, 41 points to 53. So clearly they were chucking the ball around a bit, but they obviously weren't defending either. So it depends on what kind of attitude they turn up to play Ospreys with. Next, Bath host Leicester Tigers. Both of these teams got wins first time out. Leicester Tigers beating Gloucester 26-24 at home, whereas Bath turned over London Irish 22-26 away. So both racked up 26 points, and I think this I'm going to back Bath to do it again, but to win probably by about 3 points. I think Tigers are going to be a more difficult prospect. The third game of the round sees Sale Sharks take on Saracens. Saracens losing by just 1 point to went blank to Harlequins last weekend, and Sale Sharks. They got up over Worcester Warriors. Clearly, it was only by 3 points though, and I think Saracens will be a harder prospect, and so I'm backing Saracens to win by 3. Then Gloucester and London Irish, those two teams that had 2 losses in the opening round. Now, one of the fun, interesting things about this is that you don't play people in your own pool, you play people in other pools. So, even though Saracens lost, they're still top on equal points with Saints and Worcester Warriors in their pool. They all only have 1 point. So, as London Irish picked up the bonus points, they're 2 points, but Falcons got 5 points, so they're 3 points back. So it really does depend on the pool you're in and how the other teams are going. Gloucester also just picks up the 1 point in the same pool as Bath, for example, so they're much further back. You've got to say it's going to be tough for either of these two teams to come through, because there are teams that have won in their groups, and after the loss, I think Gloucester will take this one by 5 to keep their hopes alive, and that'll really put this one to bed for London Irish. Newcastle Falcons will then host Cardiff Blues. Falcons picking up that good win on the road over Wasps last weekend, so clearly they can score points. Cardiff not having a great season this season, so I'm going to back Newcastle to win that one by 5. Northampton Saints then host Dragons. As we all know, Dragons is a rebuilding prospect, so I'm expecting the Saints to win this one by 10 at home. They did lose out to Exeter Chiefs last weekend, but that's what they remember. Exeter are one of the top sides in this competition because they've got such a strong academy. Harlequins then host Worcester Warriors. Coming off the back of that 1 point win over Saracens, they've got to think they're in with a good chance now, having got the away win under their belt. And Worcester Warriors will obviously have their mindset much more on the view of Premiership and trying to stave off relegation. So I think this is going to be a comfortable home win for Quins by about 10. And then Scarlets host Exeter Chiefs, the Pro 12 champions against the, or is it Pro 14 champions? Not quite sure. They won it as a Pro 12 anyway. Against the Aviva Premiership champions in this. I'm going to back Exeter Chiefs to carry on their good form and win by 5 points. I say they've got a strong academy and some very good players were on the pitch last weekend who are not making it onto their first team. Whereas I'm not sure Scarlets have the same sort of depth. The Welsh teams do tend to struggle in this competition. So yes, Exeter by 5. Let me know your thoughts below. Always up for a good old rugby chat, and I hope you enjoy whatever rugby you're watching this weekend.